I cannot tell you how many times coaches talk with me and say, they look like one person on Tuesday, so confident. And then we get to the game on Saturday, they're second guessing everything. There's a gap between practice and competition. Today, I'm going to tell you how to fix it.
Hello, and thank you for joining the Champion Within podcast, your premier go-to spot for unlocking your winning mindset. Whether you're an athlete looking to elevate your game to the next level, a coach leading the charge, an enthusiastic parent cheering from the sidelines, or an educator molding young minds, the Champion Within podcast episodes are packed with value, sharing the tools and strategies to unlock your potential and rise to new heights. Hosted by mentor, coach, and mindset leader Kate McCauley. Let's sit back and enjoy today's episode while discovering your champion within. And now, here's Kate.
Why are you different on game day? In practice, the stakes feel lower. Mistakes are allowed. Coaches correct you. Your teammates reset. Your nervous system recognizes that this is a safe environment. Your skills just flow more naturally. When you get to game day, this competition feeling, everything changes. The scoreboard, the crowd, the pressure, there's this fear of letting people down. Your brain is interpreting all of this as a threat, and your body starts to move into this fight, flight, or freeze. Of course, when that happens, your fine motor skills, your decision-making skills, and your confidence, they all take a hit. You need to know that nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with your athletes when this happens. It simply means that you've trained your skills, the physical part, but not your nervous system. You are not mentally prepared. You haven't trained the mindset for the realities of competition, the actual game day setting. You need to stop practicing for the perfect reps. Most athletes and coaches are chasing this clean, perfect practice rep. And yes, it does have value, but every drill that's feeling safe and comfortable, that isn't really helping you because it's not preparing you for the chaos of game day. It's not going to be perfect. You need to have both. There needs to be times when you refine those skills in a controlled setting. And there has to be time when you deliberately create this disruption, the noise, the fatigue, the pressure. You have to imitate this during practice. The reason why you're doing this is you want to train your brain the same way you are training your physical body during the skills training. Just like you're building strength with sets when you go to the weight room and putting reps in, you need to build mental resilience with simple, repeatable tools. When I'm working with a team in my Champion Within programs, we use visualization where you literally close your eyes, rehearse those game day situations in your mind, especially the tough moments. They see themselves failing and moving through it, what it feels like, what it sounds like, how they respond calmly, confidently, and decisively. They need to feel that and put the reps in. We practice breath work, breathing slowly before, during, after a stressful drill. They need to learn how to do this so their body learns what calm under pressure actually feels like. You cannot just expect them to throw that in during the calm under pressure moment in the game. You can't say, just be calm, and expect them to just be calm if you've never put the reps in. They need to practice a reset routine, developing short routines, maybe after a mistake, using their breath, a quick phrase, a physical action so they can tell their brain, I'm okay, next play. That next play mentality is something that needs to be practiced. Just like the physical reps in your sport, you have to put the mental reps in. These tools work best when you use them in practice first. It has to become automatic for game day. When you're in practice, and I've been a coach beyond the mental performance coach, when I'm coaching a team, my coaches and my athletes know this. In practice, the message, whether it's spoken or unspoken, we know this is where we learn. Mistakes are a part of the process here. You get another rep, you get feedback, you can try again immediately. The environment in practice is telling your brain you are safe. In that safe environment, an athlete's nervous system is going to stay more regulated. Their muscles are going to be more loose. Their breathing is easier. The vision, they can see a wider area of the field or the court. The brain of the athlete here is going to be able to access these skills, the timing, the creativity that has been built over years to dominate the sport. That's why, as a coach, you're calling me and saying, they look great in practice. And then game time comes. They step onto the mat for competition, and it's like they don't know what they're doing. This is why. That different message that shows up, people are watching them. They're not messing up because they don't have the talent. They're messing up because their brain is reading this situation as the possible threat. They cannot distinguish between this emotional threat and a physical threat. Their brain is just like, oh no, there's a risk here. And that fight, flight, freeze response is kicking in. You know what happens here, right? The heart rate spikes, breathing's getting shallow, their muscles are tightening up, the vision is narrowing. How do you expect them to perform well here? Their thoughts are racing through their brain, or maybe they're going completely blank. That's why they're looking like the athlete that has no idea what's going on. They look so skilled on that Wednesday afternoon. And now they're hesitant. They're panicking under the Friday night lights. The skills are still there. They didn't lose them, but their nervous system is in survival mode. And unless you've trained for that, your game day performance will always trail behind your practice ability. So stop saying, just relax, be confident. It is not going to work. This is true in every situation in life, not just in athletics. This past weekend, we're moving my daughter into her dorm. My oldest son came to help us. We sent him down to my husband's truck for the last item, literally the one thing we forgot. He hops on the elevator. It happened to be just him. We were still working in her dorm. Turns out that nobody else was hopping on the elevator. I guess everybody was working in their kid's dorm. The elevator gets stuck. He calls me. Luckily, his phone worked. The lights go blank. It wasn't dark in there, but just the buttons were blank. He's totally stuck in there. He was able to push the call button. Who knows who that called, but someone in the building. They said they were going to come. So we're like 10 minutes in now. Nobody's showing up. I decided to take the steps down. I'm talking to the people. I'm like, hey, my son's on the phone with me. He's stuck on the 8th floor, the elevator, blah, blah, blah. I'm explaining all of it. One of the workers, who was a student worker, says, okay, someone will be on the way. I said, do you have a time frame? Just an approximate time frame. Well, I don't want to give you a time frame because we have no idea. If your son is freaking out, tell him to calm down. If you've been around for any amount of time, calm down is the worst advice you could give anyone, but definitely me. My facial expressions usually give away exactly what I want to say, but I turned to her, I paused, and I did take a breath, but I said, listen, he's not freaking out, but I would like to know how long this is going to be. And again, she's like, I really don't know. I said, okay, I respect your honesty, but I want to give you a little piece of advice, whether or not you take it or not. I know you're a student worker here. Calm down is not good advice in this situation, or really any situation when someone is maybe nervous or worried about something. So whatever your major is, don't use that in the future. And I just walked away. She probably was like, this bitch. But anyway, it is not good advice to say, relax, calm down, just be confident. If you're not putting the reps in, saying things like this, shake it off, play like you play at practice, it is not going to work. If it was that simple, every athlete would already be doing it. These phrases have great intentions, but let's be really clear here that you're missing the point. You cannot think your way out of a nervous system response that you have never trained for. Confidence is not a switch that you flip. It's a state that comes from putting the reps in. It's practice. You are practicing these things. You have to do it. You have a relationship with pressure. There's a mental and emotional relationship here. The tools that you're practicing, this helps you calm down the body and focus your mind.
I need to jump in here. Coach, quick question. Do your athletes look amazing at practice, but when the game gets tight or you have a big competition, they panic, lose focus, fall apart, start talking negatively before they even compete, missed plays, bad body language, heads down? You know they have the talent, but pressure is winning. That's not a talent problem. That's a mental side of the sport problem. I run a team program called The Champion Within, where I train athletes using my CHAMP framework: confidence, habits, attitude, mental imagery, and purpose. I literally retrain their brains so they know how to stay calm, get focused, and compete like the champions they are. When the moments get big, they need to know how to regulate their nervous system. It needs to be automatic. The teams that win consistently, they train their minds, not just their bodies. Just go down to the show notes, click on the link, or send me a DM on Instagram with the word team, and I'll get you everything you need. Okay, let's get back to the podcast.
When your athletes have not practiced doing this in a competition setting, game day feel, and they're just practicing the drills, then when the game day shows up, of course, the nerves are going to be out of control. They're going to assume that something is wrong with them. They're going to be thinking, or maybe saying out loud, I must not be tough enough. I'm not confident enough. I'm not clutch in these moments. Nothing is further than the truth. There's nothing wrong with them. They just haven't trained for the full picture. Stop practicing just the physical reps. That's how you can help them. This is exactly what we do in the Champion Within programs. If you want to set this up for your team, reach out to me. Send me a message. My email is in the show notes below. The teams that I work with, of course, they're setting up practices to go over their drills. They got reps. They're going over corrections. The structure is important for learning their skills, the physical skills. But if their practices stay clean and controlled all of the time, remember, it's never going to match the chaos of competition. We talk about that, me and the coaches. And we need to think about, what does it actually feel like when you're competing? The timing is going to be unpredictable. The opponents are going to do things that you didn't expect. You're going to be tired as the athlete. The outcome, of course, is going to matter. People that you care about, they're watching you. People you don't care about are watching you. If you practice and you're never including those ingredients, then when game day shows up, it's always going to feel like this foreign country, like, well, I don't know what we're supposed to do here. Your athletes are naturally going to feel like different people there. It's going to feel like a foreign territory. Of course, you have to still work on these technical, physical skills. You want to perfect the reps, perfect the drill and the routines that you are doing. But you have to be deliberately messy. This means that you might be running drills under time constraints so that your athletes feel rushed and they learn to breathe and focus anyway when that happens. One of my teams adds consequences. You could do this on the foul line if you're serving. Suddenly, a play matters. You create mini scrimmages and the score's close, the clock's running down. You put a little pressure in there. The goal is not to create a fear situation, but you want it to be familiar. When your athletes meet these pressure moments and they've felt it multiple times at practice, then the game day pressure becomes like, we've been here before. This isn't paralyzing me. This isn't new. This is what we do. We've been here. My body knows what to do. Then they start saying things like, trust our training, because they have trained for this. Trust our training actually means trust our training when you have trained for the pressure. When I'm working with a team, every single time at the end of our sessions, we do visualization. I have athletes mentally rehearse the game day situations. If it's my cheerleaders, we're going through the routine. Not just the perfect play or the perfect routine, but the hard moments before, during, after. Missing a shot, making a mistake, falling behind, feeling those nerves. Then in their mind, they see themselves taking a breath, hearing themselves saying things, resetting their self-talk. Who's with them? What does it sound like? Literally, what are they wearing? What does it smell like? and then seeing themselves making the right decision. Their brain cannot fully distinguish between this vividly imagined rep when I'm guiding them in the visualization and reality. These visualization sessions are building this library of success. They're putting the responses in before they've ever stepped on the field, the court, the mat, and they're understanding that this is what I do. I'm teaching athletes simple, repeatable breathing patterns during the visualization. They're actually breathing. I watch them. They're moving while I'm guiding them through. It's actually pretty cool to see it happen. Some of them literally are moving. You may think that visualization is, we have to lay perfectly still. And it isn't that. There's so many different ways to do this. So again, send me a message. This is something that is so doable for your athletes. The goal, remember, is not to make them zen and emotionless. The goal here is to show their bodies, yes, we can feel this pressure and still stay in control. The goal is to teach them, I can make a mistake, and then what I do next in those next few seconds, that's what matters most. The reset routine. Maybe it's one quick phrase, next play, I'm okay, let's do this, stay aggressive. And it's their words, they create this. We do that through journaling, a lot of different activities I do. We create physical cues, movements in their body. Some people adjust a jersey, they tap on their chest, they move their lacrosse helmet, lots of different things here. Again, we create this together and figure out what is the best thing here for this routine. This becomes a bridge for them between I messed up and I am back in the present moment. That's where you need them to be. When they practice this during their training sessions, after a missed shot, drop ball, a mistake in their routine, it becomes automatic for them. They do not get stuck in it and ruin the rest of the game or the routine. If you want to start doing something now, start normalizing nerves. Saying things like, of course you're nervous. That means you care. That is going to help your athletes still play the game and feel like, okay, this matters to me. Start asking better questions. After they compete, ask things like, how did you feel out there? What are you proud of today? Instead of talking just about stats, scores, mistakes. If they bring it up, of course, you can talk about those things, but don't forget those other questions too. What did you learn from that? What are you proud of today? How do you feel about how it went out there? Don't forget, stay consistent with it. It's hard sometimes because you want to fix things for them. Your love and support, of course, isn't going to go up and down for them. You're there. If you're listening to this, you're obviously there for them. When your athletes know that they're valued as people first, then this competition game day, it's a place for them to just get in the flow. It's important to remember that the practice and competition issue here is not going to disappear, and it shouldn't. Pressure is what makes sports meaningful, but that difference doesn't have to control your athlete's performance or their identity. When you train your skills, your mindset, and your nervous system together, your athletes are going to stop feeling like two different versions of themselves. They become one integrated competitor who now feels like and knows that they are prepared. They are going to say, I trust my training, because now they know how to breathe, how to reset, and how to respond. It doesn't mean that they're going to be perfect, but they know that they can feel the pressure and still play their game. The goal is simple. They are the same athlete, the same tools, the same habits, that same self-talk, no matter the setting. The difference between practice and competition or game days will always exist. It doesn't have to control their performance. They don't need to become a completely different athlete in competition. As a coach, when you put the mental and the physical side together, you're helping them control the performance. You're helping them train their nervous system now with the same intention that they've been giving their physical skills. Game day stops feeling like a big test or public speaking event. It's now an opportunity to go out there and get in the flow, to be the athlete they are. They are truly prepared. If you want to do this for your team, send me a message, go down to the show notes. All the links are there. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. I'm rooting for you and your athletes always.
Thank you for hanging out with Kate today. And whether you're going to coach, teach, cheer from the sidelines, or hitting the field yourself, remember, mindset is everything. Don't forget to follow the show for the latest episodes, as we all need a little extra motivation, humor, and sanity in our busy lives. Now, go and unleash your champion within you, one step at a time. We're always rooting for you.